In this lesson, we'll add a scoop into the main geometry of our hood. Okay, so this is the piece of the hood that we're worried about right now. We want to basically add this little scoop in here. You can see it on the front view as well. Kind of punched right into the top of this hood. So one of the first things we want to do is start to draw this out to match this scoop, much like we did with some of the back pieces. But looking at this, it looks like it's going to be a little bit too low res, and it might give us some problems once we start adding that hood into there. So I'm just going to add a couple of lines of resolution here, right along the side. And as I do that, I'm just going to translate those up slightly so that we maintain that curvature. And let's go ahead and add one right down here, and just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and actually select this middle one. Go into wireframe here. I'm going to select this middle edge. I'm just going to move it down just a little bit. I'm just maintaining that curvature, because now the subdivision, when it does it, it has a few more edges, so it doesn't need them. It needs them to be a little bit closer to the way that the subdivision surface is. So now we can go in and start redrawing this a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and select this point right here. I'm going to start moving these along the normals there, right into the corners. And pull these up into position. And a scoop doesn't have to match perfectly. This is actually kind of smoothed out into the hood, so it can be a little bit longer. So I'm going to just go with that at this point. I will straighten this up just a little bit. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab those faces. And then I'm just going to go ahead and extrude those in. Let's go ahead and extrude down. I'm going to extrude straight down. And then what I want to do is rotate that. Okay, and move it back just a little bit. And I'll move it up just to get that. This piece is going to be a little bit more, it's going to be more horizontal here. And let's scale it in just slightly. Alright. And now we can go ahead, I'm just going to add an edge right along the top here. And I don't think I want this quite so tapered in. I'm going to go ahead and scale this out just a little bit. Right along here. And then I'm going to I want this to kind of look like it goes back into the hood, so I'm going to go ahead and extrude these, and I'm going to just go straight back in there, just like that. Alright, so we've got the main geometry of this scoop figured out. Now we need to go in and start adding the resolution here that's going to hold these edges. Okay, one way to do it, we've done it before, would be to go ahead and just add an edge where you want it, and then go in and space those out using our move along normals. Another way would be to go in here, and let me just delete this half. We're only going to be working on one half, so let's go ahead and delete that half, and I'm just pull an edge right in there. And this is going to work for us down here and down here, but inside here, it's not quite as close as we want it to be. So if I just delete these edges, and then all I want to do is delete all these edges on the inside here that I just created. Okay. And now I'm going to place this edge exactly where I want it, maybe right about there. And then I'll go ahead and connect those up. Connect that up right there. Alright. Might need to space these out a little bit because we're going to have a few more edges coming along here. So we need some room for those. So I'll space those out, and then I'm just going to put an edge right up here to kind of hold that sharpness of that edge. And again, we'll come in and space those out just a little bit. Just keep spacing that out so that we don't get anything too jumbled down there. And now we just need some edges right along here to hold this sharpness of this edge and right along the side. So let's go ahead and do the same thing up here. I'm going to add an edge right in there. And again, I'm just going to translate that up just a little bit to maintain that curve. Okay. And then we'll actually go in and redraw that a little bit. So I want it to come right up next to this guy. And then I can just delete those. Okay. And then we need one right along the side here. So I'm going to go ahead and add an edge right along here, and then I'll just redraw that. Let's start it right up here. Bring it in, and then bring it right back out again. Yeah, we could go ahead and space this guy out a little bit. Just like that. And let's go ahead and check that. Just delete that history. Let's go ahead and subdue it and see what that looks like. So it actually looks pretty good. We're getting a nice cut into our hood there with a pretty sharp curve, and it's kind of sloped down into there. Let's go ahead and just convert that back and do a quick mirror. And it looks like our points are a little bit off, so I'm going to change that threshold down to something. Actually, we want it to be a little bit higher. 0.04 looks like it's taking care of us. Let's go ahead and delete our history, and let's check that over again. Okay. So we've created a nice scoop, and by spacing those lines out, we were able to avoid any of the creases from having such a sharp cut into our curved surface. All right. So in the next lesson, we're actually going to go in and start working on the geometry for the trunk.